actually said her policy is a connection.
That was Anna Paulina Luna, a Republican congresswoman, apparently bored to death while guesting on Laura Ingraham's show on Fox. Fox has been absolutely losing their minds, in particular over the past few days, as Donald Trump receives more bad news, and they really work extra hard to try to gaslight the public, lie to their viewers and the American people. Fox is responsible for such toxic bile flooding the information ecosystem, and I want to expose it all right here. I know I did a video on Fox earlier, but there is just so much that Fox is doing to ruin this country, and they need to be exposed, and these videos need to be shared so that people understand how devious of a network that they truly are. First, I want to show you this moment on their show called The Five yesterday. Jessica Tarlov, who is their one pro-democracy host that they have on the network, was asking on the show, why does Trump keep saying he's going to send the Haitian migrants who live legally in Ohio to Venezuela? Why would he do that? Greg Gutfeld, who is a other co-host on the show, goes, I didn't hear him say that. Watch this.
They're actually paying for their lives getting screwed.
Right.
So I have to give them. Go ahead.
But everyone, including the Republicans in charge, are saying that this was a good thing. The Republicans in Florida are saying that these are great people. That's where they came from originally.
We're not talking about the people. We're talking about the process. I have no doubt they're good people. I'm talking about the actual process.
So why is he saying I'll send them to Venezuela?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't hear him say that. Judge.
And here's Trump exactly saying that.
No, I will. Maybe Springfield, maybe Aurora, maybe both. We'll go there. I can say this. We will do large deportations from Springfield, Ohio. Large deportations. We're going to get these people out. We're bringing them back to Venezuela. You know, he told Biden he's not accepting anybody back. They moved all their criminals. Not all of them, but the rest are moving in now.
And this is kind of Fox's very devious strategy that they use with Jessica Tarlov. And I want to say right off the bat that I'm a huge fan of Jessica Tarlov. I think her voice is so important, and the work that she does on Fox News, the fact that she is able to at least shine a light on the truth, however small that light may be in relation to the darkness of the channel, I think that that is so important and so impactful what she is doing. However, Fox's entire strategy here is to build this construct where she's one against these four other people, and the four people always gang up on her, and while she tries to present the facts, they try to just drown her out by acting like everything's a joke or everything's stupid, and it's sort of a framing in a way, a psychological kind of framing that they're pushing at their viewers, telling them this is how you can react if one of your kind of quote liberal friends or pro-democracy friends, if they try to fact check you on this stuff, this is how you drown them out. It's almost like a tutorial on how to do that, even though they're not explicitly saying it. Let me show you this other moment from host Greg Gutfeld on Fox, where he goes, so a vote for or against Trump from a woman has no impact on the issue of abortion, has no impact. Dems don't want you to know that. Then Jessica Tarlov responds, then why is Trump flip-flopping on the issue? Greg Gutfeld once again goes, he never did. I mean, this is just gaslighting to the max. Watch.
If she's released illegals who reoffend, I don't think she's done much in terms of cop killers, in terms of pushing the death penalty. Men care about this stuff. Maybe it's biological, but shouldn't women care as well? How come women don't care? I think they do, but they've been told to care about one thing, and that is abortion. But thankfully, the Supreme Court and Trump have decoupled abortion, right? It's not a national issue anymore. It's off the table. So women don't have to be the single issue voter anymore. They don't have to ignore crime, immigration, inflation, energy, education, all of these huge issues, what we would call the rest of the world. You don't have to just vote based on what Planned Parenthood demands of you. You know, he's already said he's against the national ban. So the right to choose is now a state issue, which is closer to the voter. I bring this up because this is going to come up tomorrow, and Trump just needs to say this is not part of my decision making. It's now back to you. So a vote for or against Trump from a woman has no impact on the issue of abortion. Has no impact. The Dems don't want you to know that. They're very reductive. If you're a woman, it has to be about abortion. How insulting is that? How stereotypical is that? That you can't think about inflation, that you can't think about foreign policy. Ooh, that's not important. It's my right to choose. It's not on the table.
Well, why did Trump flip-flop on it?
You know, Dana.
He never did.
He did last week. On how he's going to vote on Florida.
I just told you.
He said he knows that a 6-week abortion ban is draconian. And then when I guess he heard from his big donors, he said, you know what, I'm just going to let it go.
That doesn't, you just heard my ad. This is a state thing. It's closer to the voters. He does. I mean, you could bring that up, but that's like playing in the weeds. What I'm talking about right now is the issue is decoupled from the election.
Right. It's not an issue in terms of what has happened. It's left to the states. And women can vote in the states. But Dana, she is supposedly so worried about this debate. And, you know, you and I both, everybody knows you. If you prep.
This is a strategy that Fox employs over and over, and it's a very Trumpian strategy. I never heard of him. He's just the coffee boy. Who's that? He doesn't work for me. We see these same type of strategies employed by the propaganda network of Fox News. So here is Jessica Tarlov. She is speaking about the Mark Robinson scandal and how he posted on a forum that he is a black Nazi. Jesse Waters pretends like he's never heard of him. Watch this.
And what's a really interesting state in there? North Carolina, which is a big target for the Democrats. And we just found out an hour ago that the lieutenant governor there, Mark Robinson, who's running for governor,
never heard of him,
who Donald Trump called Martin Luther King on steroids, posted on a porn forum called Nude Africa that he's a black Nazi, expressed support for reinstating slavery, and detailed his sexual arousal from memories of peeping on women in public gyms. And he still fantasizes about it. He also has an Ashley Madison account.
How dare you kink shame?
Sure.
That's a great reaction. So Josh Stein was likely to win that race anyway. If they get Mark Robinson to drop out, his name is still on the ballot. But this makes North Carolina even more in play for Democrats. And this, again, is evidence of the type of candidates that Donald Trump thinks are good for the country. Martin Luther King on steroids, someone who says he's a black Nazi.
But he would obviously.
But what?
Let's take the obvious here.
Yeah.
Do you think Trump actually knew this guy was on porn sites?
My point is that Donald Trump likes anyone who likes him, and he doesn't bother to do the work.
That's called being human.
No, it's not. A lot of people like me who I don't like in return.
Like who?
Tell us now. I don't want to name names.
Go ahead. Let's start with Fox and Friends.
Poor Kill.
All right, Jessica. Yeah.
All right, Jeff.
I didn't interrupt. I just want to let that be known. Greg interrupted on my behalf.
The king shaming was kind of funny. And
I will be going to Nude Africa in the break to see if that's true.
And just for the record, let's show this very recent photo of Jesse Waters interviewing Mark Robinson on his show. There it is. They're just total liars. They make a mockery out of everything, and their goal is to just flood the zone with BS so people ultimately don't know what is true and what is false. It is so despicable. It is so dangerous to our democracy, what they are doing. Here, Jessica Tarlov is talking about the FBI stats that go against the narratives that are being pushed about crime and homicides on Fox, and Jesse Waters tries to pretend that these FBI stats showing that crime has been coming down, that they're kind of manipulated because they're not showing Chicago and they're not showing LA. Once again, that is not true at all. Here's the clip.
The murder capital of the country, New Orleans, is not included. Chicago, not included.
New York City,
LA, not
Los
included.
Angeles.
Besides all the major
These
metropolitan areas with all the homicides,
have
everything
said
else
it's
is
done.
fine.
That's it.
That's
Things
it.
move very quickly across the internet. But these FBI statistics leave room for questions because there are a lot of cities, major cities like Los Angeles, that are not providing that information.
I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but I just, because we looked this up, I've heard this before. The FBI addressed this today. Those major cities now are reporting their crime statistics. So,
but they didn't in 23 on these numbers. When you go to the FBI website, they're not there, especially for homicides in LA.
Let me answer what you're saying. So now they do. Los Angeles, New York, all the major cities, any city with over 1 million people, those police departments report into these statistics.
Across the board. And it's important to point out, because you'll hear Donald Trump and others say, well, big cities are left out of this FBI data. That's not true. It was true in 2021 when they changed the way they collected the data. This data set includes every city of more than 1 million people, and it covers 94% of the U.S. population. Now, there are different ways of measuring crime, and there's a Justice Department victim survey that tries to capture crime that wasn't reported to police, and that shows some different numbers. But overall, it agrees that violent crime right now is about the same level it was in 2019 before the pandemic. And that survey doesn't measure murder. Murder, the drop is really is remarkable. And every murder is counted in the United States. There are no hidden murders. So it's really some remarkable good news. And it's distressing that people don't agree on the facts, because the facts are right out in front of us, Chris.
They just lie about everything. Jessica Tarlov was trying to speak about all the new manufacturing plants that have opened up under the Biden-Harris administration. Legislation like the Chips and Science Act that have made America a world leader in chips, beating countries like Taiwan and China in the industry. It's something that has never been done before. Judge Janine, who was on this panel, brings it back to Obama and then talks about Trump bringing back jobs, even though Trump lost a ton of manufacturing jobs. I mean, watch this. I don't even get it. Watch.
I mean, maybe, taxpayer-funded sex changes. She puts the man in manufacturing. That's about it.
What about all the new plants that have been created under the Biden-Harris administration for the Chips and Science Act?
What about all the ones that are closing because of electric vehicles?
What is it, 700,000 new manufacturing jobs, even with the downward revision?
Wait a minute. Didn't Obama say he didn't have a magic wand? He couldn't bring them back?
Are you actually, so you think that Trump is going to win because you're bringing up something Obama said?
Because Trump did bring him back when Obama said you couldn't.
All right. Nice try, Jessica. Try it again.
Oh, and here's a great clip of Jesse Waters, the guy who just looked you in the eye and lied to you in those clips that I just showed you. Well, here is him last night saying, I wouldn't look you in the eye and lie to you. I'm not making this up. You can watch it.
I wouldn't look you in the eye and lie to you.
Jessica Tarlov once again dropping fact bombs on Fox during their show The Five, speaking about Donald Trump's policies that are inflationary and how Kamala Harris will add less to the deficit than Donald Trump would, who Donald Trump would explode the deficit. Watch this.
We know that his policies will be more inflationary. He's going to add something like $5.8 trillion to the deficit. Kamala only $1.2 trillion. And when he continues to say, well, I'm going to do these things. I'm going to have the cost of energy. No plan to do it. The tariffs, that is not good economic policy. This is going to add a 20% tariff to some goods. That's not just something that you throw around. That's something that could be devastating for the American economy. And so you can rail about her. You can call her incompetent. And frankly, it's been shown as well that people do not take well to him standing up there and continually insulting her in that tone. But people are hearing what she's saying about her plans, the progress we've made, and what she's going to continue to do. And that's why his edge is being decreased every time a new survey comes out.
Okay, it is fun.
That's the thing. Just give us the facts, right? Give us the facts. Let us form our own opinions. Fox always wants to tell you what your opinions should be, even when the facts are good. So here's on Fox Business, for example, and Fox Business positions itself as a more straight kind of business channel, but it's just another Fox propaganda network. Here they're announcing the fourth straight day of record high closes in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The stock market has been on absolute fire over the past week, setting record after record after record. So Fox announces it. Then they cut to a former Trump official, Larry Kudlow, who's a host on the network, who starts talking about how Biden is leaving his successor a world of disorder. Watch this.
Great to have you. Thank you very much, Jeffrey Small. Here we go. Closing bell. Let the balloons be released. The blue chips make history for the fourth straight day. A record for the Dow, a record for the S&P. That's going to do it for the Claimant Countdown. Kudlow is next.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. Donald Trump announces a new American industrialism to create millions of jobs, raise wages, make the U.S. into a manufacturing powerhouse. More on that in just a moment. Later in the show, we'll have Senator John Kennedy talk about Joe Biden leaving his successor a world of disorder. And Vivek Ramaswamy to talk about his new Fox Nation special, Truths why God is real, shutting down the bureaucracy, and the climate change hoax. House members Anna Paulina Luna and Scott Perry will tell us about the skyrocketing costs of illegal immigration. And Joe Concha and Mark Simone, why Kamala won't help Catholic charities. Oh, my gosh. But first up, Donald Trump announces his new American industrialism, and that's the subject of the riff.
It's always confession and projection with Fox, with Donald Trump and this modern day Republican Party. You know who left his successor with a world of disorder? Well, Donald Trump, with thousands of people dying a day, with the economy in shambles and COVID running rampant. One of the last kind of straight news reporters still left at Fox News relatively is Neil Cavuto. And he was speaking about the record stock market close and how Donald Trump always likes to somehow take credit for the stock market when the stock market does good, but when the stock market goes down, he doesn't like to take credit for it. You could watch this.
You know, it's interesting because Donald Trump, you know, he's taking credit for this and that the markets are anticipating he's going to get back in power. He doesn't say that when we have a down day in the markets, or maybe it's a different poll that's shown something. And I get that, and both sides get that. But
and as a reminder, like if Donald Trump was responsible at all for the stock market and there was a stock literally with Donald Trump's name on it, that stock would probably be doing quite well. But Donald Trump's stock continues to tank and is down tremendously over the past week, the past month, and the past few months. It is an absolute disaster, just like every other business venture Donald Trump has been involved in. Here is Maria Bartiromo, one of the craziest of the Fox hosts, reporting on the good news about the stock market hitting record highs. And she seems like so mad to report this good news. Watch.
Welcome back. Take a look at the futures this morning. Another rally underway. The Dow Industrials up 67. The NASDAQ up 43. S&P 500 up 7.25, extending into further record territory. We're looking at last week's rate cut rally continuing. The Dow and the S&P 500 closing in record territory yesterday. So that's where we begin this morning in uncharted territory.
And occasionally, outside of Jessica Tarlov, occasionally the truth shines through. That happened here on Fox yesterday afternoon when they showed this new poll from NBC News that showed Kamala Harris up 49% to 44%. You could be sure that Donald Trump was likely watching this and absolutely furious. You know that the ketchup was probably hitting the walls in Mar-a-Lago. He was probably racing to try to find the next Twitter poll that shows him up because Cat Turd posted it, or, you know, it's like a big MAGA influencer who calls himself Cat Turd. I'm not making this up, but that's probably what Donald Trump was doing. And he's probably going to send like an angry post about Fox soon. I could already see it now. That's what's going on at Fox. They continue to just freak out. Does any of this look like a legitimate news network whatsoever? I mean, maybe Jessica Tarlov bringing the facts, but the rest of it is completely unhinged, completely deranged. It is a complete fact-free zone that is polluting the airwaves and polluting this country, and it is so dangerous, and we all need to be aware of exactly what they are doing day in and day out. Just pure, unadulterated propaganda. It's absolutely disgusting. Thank you for watching me at the MeidasTouch Network. My name is Brett Meiselas. Remember to hit the subscribe button. We are on our way to 3.5 million subscribers. We're gaining thousands of subscribers by the day thanks to you. Let's keep that momentum up. Remember to subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast anywhere you get your audio podcasts and leave a 5-star review. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.
Real quick, Meta just changed their algorithm to suppress political content. Please follow our Instagram at MeidasTouch right now as we head towards 400,000 followers so you don't miss a beat.